Alrighty,
Yeah,
we are
alright,
live, are
we
we?
are live. Live. We are starting very soon, just waiting for Carlos to join the race. It's gonna be within seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup, don't you think? Ami versus Carlos, they both worked their way up the brackets for the e-sailing match racing league, and now they're here fighting it out for the top dog. Who is the top dog? Who's your favorite?
I would say probably Carlos. Because I was racing
Really?
again. Yeah,
Okay.
I was racing against him at the beginning of this event, and he just beat me. Like I was never playing the game, and I wouldn't say I'm bad at the game. I'm not the best, but Carlos was on a different level.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have to go with my boy Ami.
Yeah,
I've known him for a long time, raced against him quite a fair bit in the Fleet Racing League. I'm keen
yeah,
to see what he can bring to the table in the Match Racing League. But yeah, anywho, um, we're your hosts. Peter's on, Peter, and I'm Liam Dirk, and we will be your hosts for this E-Sailing Match Racing League final, grand finale.
yeah.
Carlos has just joined the lobby now, actually. Speaking of which.
Perfect. So we are ready to go. I think. Um, we just need Carlos to get to the start line.
Yeah, and then Ami will press that button, which will start the grand final, and it will be underway.
Yep.
Here we go.
1 minute
One
to
minute
start.
and 10 seconds.
All right. Um.
So looking up the course here, we see a little bit of a left shift now coming down. We'll see which side the two competitors will favour. Who do you think's who do you think's gonna win the start, Peterson?
At the start, I think Alma is looking pretty good right now. He's trying to. Oh, we got Void, right? Yeah. Hi, mate. We already got Void here. Um.
Hello.
So let us introduce the third broadcaster, Void. We are just
Okay.
around to start with 20 seconds left. And a penalty for Ami.
Yes, good pin by Carlos. Carlos went for that hook there and was able to get it on Ami, putting him in an uncomfortable position. Now Ami, he tries to go below Carlos here. They seem a little late towards the start line, but we will see.
Yeah, at the
Yes, they
beginning.
are a little late.
Yeah, but it's fine at the first upwind because I think everything is gonna come around on the downwinds. So
Yeah, for
it's just
sure.
yeah,
I do think that Carlos does have the upper hand here. I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos tries to hold Ami out for as long as possible and try and build up a bit of a lead here to give him a bit of an edge on the next downwind. What do you think?
yeah. Surely that's
That would be his goal, eh?
yeah. Carlos is gonna
Boyd, what
go
do you
all the
make of
way.
this race so far? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, uh, I would say it will all. I think every race will come down to the last few meters. But looking at the shift here into the mark, I think Ame is a bit lucky also with the shift here.
Yes, absolutely,
That is not go against them so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. Definitely don't want Ami sailing extra distance or any more distance really. Um, which would definitely not benefit him against Carlos. Now we see Ami just laying the mark here. There's a bit of a righty here, so he's kind of falling into Carlos, but as long as he doesn't get any dirty air, it should be okay for Ami.
Yeah, he was now actually he was a little bit unlucky with this shift. So this is really good for Carlos. You can see he's pointing the boat a little bit to to Ame to get Ame in his shadow.
Yeah, for sure. Try and put a bit of the bad air on Ami and trying to also give Carlos a little bit more separation for that downwind. Allow Carlos to start like figuring out a plan and figuring out how he's going to play this next downwind, because that's where all the gains are going to be made in this matchup against such big professional, really good players on this game. These downwinds are going to be critical.
But
Absolutely.
the important for when you are the second boat is that you have at least 40 meters when you go for a downwind, because if you're more than 40 meters, you will be out of the covering area. So now the hunt starts for Ame, and I think he actually likes this position also,
Absolutely.
being coming from behind.
Yeah. In the star,
Yeah, for
attacking
sure.
is the key, especially at the last second of the downwind. Is the key.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like Carlos is somewhat letting Amy come closer towards him. It's almost like Carlos expects Amy to be able to gain up on him, so he's just letting it happen and just trying to secure that left-hand side favoury on this downwind. Because the last
Yeah.
thing that Carlos needs is for Amy to take the inside of Carlos and give Carlos a penalty. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos do a little jibe here. Yep, there he goes.
Alright, let's
Yeah,
see
I
from
s-
top view this fight.
Maybe trying to go for the overlap. Or does he have it on Carlos?
And I think we got an overlap. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Amy has mark room there. Oh, and Amy decides to follow to the other mark. Jeez.
That's interesting.
What a play by Amy. Jeez, yeah, that is a really interesting move. Maybe, because there is a bit of a right shift coming down here too, so maybe Amy just didn't think about going to that mark. Maybe he thought that Carlos would have also tried to go around that mark, so
Yeah.
maybe Amy was trying to
Yeah.
pre-predict something that didn't happen.
he will have to explain that move later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Could be a
But
costly move for Amy.
Also, unless you get a penalty in the upwind and don't get into dirty wind, you're fine.
Yeah.
You just have to go
Yeah,
to
for
the
sure.
ley line and don't go into being shadow as much as you could.
Yeah. Little tacking duel happening here between Carlos and Amy. Carlos trying to push Amy out towards that ley line. Amy doesn't really want to go to the ley line. Carlos lets Amy slide, actually tries to take the starboard advantage. Here, I think Amy's going to use that quite nicely, try and get over towards the left side. Find a little shift that he can power up on, really.
Yeah, Ame
Start
has to be
getting
careful
closer to
about
goal.
the crossing in the next one, because Carlos can just
Yeah.
give him a penalty and
I-
then get a lot of lead.
And I think Carlos will go for the penalty here, but let's see.
Yeah.
He has like the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And Carlos isn't laying either, so he's going to have to put in another 2 tacks, I reckon. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Carlos start hunting Amy here. But let's see. No, Carlos plays it safe, just tries to get around the mark. Didn't actually put 2 tacks in. That right shift actually came in quite lucky for Carlos here.
And I know Ame likes this position. I seen him training with this player Sukov, so where he is from behind, and they just been training this where Ame comes behind from on Sukov like this, so he's well prepared for this.
Yeah. There was a race against Carlos and Ame before the final. Ame won that by 3-1. It was a really interesting race if you want to check it out. It's really interesting.
Yeah, but we spoke to Carlos actually earlier, and he said that he wasn't feeling too confident today because he said that he felt like Amy had the upper hand, but it doesn't seem like he's showing any less confidence, you know. Carlos has been playing this game very well, especially in this first match. He's done really well, you know, put himself ahead, and, you know, I'd say Carlos is actually looking quite strong right now.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, Carlos also like world champion 2001 or something, right?
2021 world champion in Virtua Regatta.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
Yes. He won the SWC in 21.
Very experienced player.
Yes. He was in finalist in 2024 and he got 8th place. And his
Speaking of
favorite
which,
boat.
Ami may have just gotten around the front of Carlos.
Yep.
Jeez, that's an upset. So Ami may well actually take this first race unless Carlos has something to say about it. I don't know, it's going to be tough for Carlos here. He's losing time. He's got to make something happen. No, it's going to be a win for Ami here in race 1 for sure. Jeez, just a little mishap for Carlos. Jeez.
Nicely
One
done.
small mistake on that last downwind just costed him that whole race.
Yep. So 1 to Ami. 0 to Carlos. All right.
Yeah, you can see he really knows how to use the wind when he comes down to those last part also. Now usually you try to hook there like the other player, but I think he saw that the wind was giving up, so he decided to just, and also they was the angle into the finish line was so low also that he gained it more on just covering him there.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But yeah, what would you say was the highlight of that race for you guys? For me, I thought it was a pretty simple one with that last downwind was such a crucial part where Carlos just didn't jibe back in time to be able to put pressure on Ami, and Ami was actually able to roll Carlos, and that guaranteed him the win on that one. But what do you guys think?
Absolutely. And I also think the downwind mark where they went to the other mark instead of the supposed one, it was an interesting move, interesting idea, but it worked out for Ami.
Yeah, for sure. Able to keep Ami in the play 100%.
Yeah, we can see some dancing around the start line.
Yeah, they're in the play zone. No one's, well, they're not really too keen on getting caught out in the coffin, which is in the port side of the start line. So we see the boats trying to focus on staying above the sleigh line, trying to get their timing right here. Trying not to be late, but also trying not to be too early.
Yeah, we got
Ami
15
trying to
seconds.
force Carlos to be late to the start line here, but Carlos is trying to make Ami early, so then Carlos can do something. Yeah, here we go. Good start for Carlos. I'd say a slightly better start for Carlos and Ami.
Yeah, but we can see a shift coming down at the top of the mark. So it might turn
It's
out.
a bit of a right-hand shift, yeah.
Yeah. We will see. Yeah.
Carlos
Ami
now
is
pitching out Ami. Ami decides to attack. How's
Interesting.
Carlos going to respond?
And he's taking.
He tacks slightly late though. Jeez, that's quite a late tack.
Yeah, he might let Ami win this. Let's see the
try and
wind
stay
and the
from
up.
behind.
We don't know the wind and the upwind mark. And we see a little bit of match race here.
Yeah, just a small tacking battle. I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos just try and keep bouncing off Ami. I wouldn't be like, I don't really think that Carlos is going to be too keen on going out towards the port lay. At all, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see this cross. No cross.
Across, Carlos tacks back. Ami then tacks straight off. And then tacks back again just before Carlos can actually tack back. So Carlos is really relying on a cross here.
Yeah.
But no, Ami just takes him out. Yeah.
Let's see what's
Carlos
gonna
is
happen.
probably going to gain inside overlap at this mark, though, so he's going to own the mark and try and give Ami a penalty, probably.
Yep. Do we have an overlap? And ooh, yeah. I may have to avoid.
Definitely some insane boat skills here by the two guys. Jeez, that was tight.
Ami is a former match race champion, so he knows what he's doing, and also Carlos with his world championship title, he has some background, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure. We see Carlos really fighting for that inside overlap here, or the inside position, really. Trying to see if he can catch Ami out. Ami is staying really strong here, just trying to make sure that Carlos has no opportunity to give Ami a pin at all. And there we go, Ami jibes out just there. He's had enough of it. Jives back onto port, still trying to fight for that inside.
And yeah,
I don't think Ami wants to lead, to be honest.
nah,
At all.
he
I
surely
think he
wants
just
to
wants
keep.
to sit behind until the last.
No,
Yes, absolutely.
he likes to come from behind, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it seems like Ami just wants to focus on staying as close as possible at the bottom mark. See, Carlos is now trying to go behind, but then Ami's just said no. See, look.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ami do attack around here.
Yeah.
To left.
Noset Acosta says hello in the comments, and we also have Shukov Bliat saying hello. And Noset has a question for you. He says, who sets 26 knots?
Ama setting the courses, obviously.
Comment down below, guys. Who do you think is going to win this matchup? Ami or Carlos? Or we might get a split here. Instantly attacking back from both the players. Seems like Ami's on the fave attack, but he is on port, so he's going to have to avoid Carlos. And now attack back here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ami attacking back pretty soon. And there he goes.
Which side are we favoring?
I would say the left side's looking pretty prominent right now. Because we have another left shift coming down the course, but then it will probably be going right further up the beat. So, yeah, it's quite hard to tell actually, just playing the shifts, I reckon.
Yeah. And in also, if you are in the lead, you kind of want to push the other player to not the favorable shift, because then it's much easier to gain meters on the ley line when going for the mark.
Ooh, interesting cross here.
Yeah, little dial down by Carlos, but Ami avoids it quite nicely.
Yeah, he was
Attacking
in
back a
shadow,
little
so
too soon for Ami.
he was in wind shadow. He had to take.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got the
Good
penalty.
read by
good move.
Carlos there.
Very good move.
That's what we like to see, like more aggressive stuff. It's good,
Yeah,
good
for
one
sure.
from Carlos.
Yeah, I think Ami kind of had that one coming for him though. You know, it was tough after he tacked back a little too soon after that cross, I reckon, and it just put him just in Carlos's dirty years, which gave Carlos the opportunity to set that move up, I reckon. What do you guys think?
Absolutely, but it's still not lost for Ami. He's still within.
He's
reasonable.
just,
Nah,
yeah, for sure.
He's within a reasonable
Yeah.
distance.
Let's see if Carlos doesn't make the same mistake twice. Let's see if he can hold off Ami for this last downwind to the finish line.
Absolutely.
This is where it counts. Carlos letting Ami catch up here before he starts doing something. Carlos has to make a move soon. There he goes.
Let's go, Carlos.
Yeah, safe by Carlos. Doesn't want to let Ami get a jibe in and give him a pin. Oh, that might have been a mistake from Carlos. Oh. Ami with an inside overlap here. Carlos under pressure. Is that the race deciding move there? Or does Carlos have something in store for Ami?
What is the plan here?
I think Carlos is just trying to focus on getting space between Ami and him to then try and get back over underneath.
Absolutely.
He did that good, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Now Carlos trying to repeat what Ami did to him. Trying to get that inside overlap to be able to give either a pin or just hold out towards the finish line here.
We have 100 meters till the finish. It's looking good for Ami.
Carlos is going to get it. Gonna be close.
And then penalty for Carlos.
No, and Ami gets a second. Yeah, jeez.
Wow.
So 2 wins for Ami. That's gonna ruffle some feathers for Carlos. Jeez. Definitely not what Carlos was hoping for.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's match point for Ami. He only needs to win one more race to win, if I'm correct in thinking that, yes?
Yeah.
Gee, so what were your thoughts from that race? What was the deciding moment of that race, do you guys think?
Good question.
Yeah, surely it is the last now wins penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but also when Alme managed to hook Carlos there.
Yes.
It was so.
For me, yeah. For me, I think it was more so that last bit where Carlos had a really nice run on Ami, but then couldn't quite find the inside. Because if he could find that inside and just get underneath Ami like what Ami did to Carlos, I reckon it would have been race over for Ami. But anywho, we're into the into the third race now.
Yeah, we're in the
And
third
we already
race.
have a penalty on
Has
Ami.
not win yet.
Ami has to win this in order to secure his champion title.
Yes. Yes, pressure is on for Carlos. Carlos really needs to pull a trick out of the hat here
We got 50
in
seconds
order
till the
to
start.
stay in contention.
And full speed start for both of the boats. Oh, what a shift is coming down.
It's a big right-hand shift coming down the course now.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos tack off pretty soon.
He's not in wind shadow.
No, he will wait now. When he has, as long as he doesn't in Carlos' shadow, he will try to hold him there.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that Carlos is going to try and hold Ami outside of the port ley line? Or, oh, there he goes actually. No, he tacks onto port.
Yeah, we see the deck. Also, the shift is coming from the right side. maybe that's gonna be an advantage to Carlos, but it's still the first upwind, so can't really tell anything about it.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen at this point. Until the last downwind or a big mistake, it's not decided.
Yeah.
All right. It's a bit boring upwind, but happens all the time in these kind of match races. We see attack from Carlos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Any coffees tax underneath Carlos, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if Carlos tries to hold Ami out unless he does start getting affected by Ami's wind shadow.
But it still doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
I'm really curious to see how this goes.
They are very close to the
Yeah,
mark, so it doesn't.
it's
really
not going to
matter.
make a huge difference.
Yes, we see Carlos bait Ami, get a penalty. Oh shit!
Good play by Carlos, but as long as Ami stays within the range of the wind shadow, then it doesn't matter too much.
No, it almost feels like it also feels like Alma actually wants to be the second boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has the attacking position.
I think Carlos needs to.
It's very important to get the attacking position, especially in the downwind.
Yeah. I think Carlos should try and upset Ami's run and try and go and be second boat. I reckon, especially going into that last downwind, because it seems to work for Ami quite a bit. Carlos needs to try something new. He can't be playing in Ami's rulebook. He needs to start playing in Carlos's rulebook. He needs to switch it up.
Ami got the leading position. Let's see which side of the course he wants to go. I think he prefers the left side because they get more wind and shift. Oops.
Yukov says in the comment he likes to get behind the opponent to target their stern, and that's actually
understandable.
That's
very true.
Yeah. But and that's actually what I seen like Zhukov and Am have been training on. Like I even think they did ERL training where Am comes behind on Zhukov and stuff. So
let's see. Ooh. And you see a mark rounding. Yes, Carlos stacking. Ami tried to attack, but he went in the wind.
Definitely not a good decision for Ami. That could have costed him quite a bit there.
Yes.
Especially if Carlos decides to try and cover Ami, it could be quite costly.
Do you reckon Carlos should tack in front of Ami to? Yeah, he's doing.
Yep.
He's doing.
Oh, and there he goes. Yeah. This could be the downfall of Ami. I could quite well see Carlos winning. Oh, but he doesn't fully go for him. He kind of just gets him on the edge of his wind shadow, so not fully affecting Ami in that last maneuver. But
the difference between the two boats is 20 meters.
20 meters, that could definitely increase, I reckon, over the course of this upwind.
Absolutely. I think Carlos should push Ami to the left side as much as he can.
Yeah, try and push him. Yeah, try and make him sail extra distance, I reckon, would definitely be a good idea. But Carlos thinks otherwise. For sure. Jeez.
Let's see. And we still have a fight for the last downwind.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely would have thought that Carlos would have tried to at least extend his lead, give him a little more time on this downwind, or maybe he just wants to be second boat. Yeah, so he is going to try and switch it up and be second boat for the start of this last downwind here. But Ami's having none of it.
They're fighting for that left side position.
Yeah. As you can see, they've sailed past the top mark. They went around it and then sailed up massively past it.
Yeah. This is now or never chance to Carlos. If he fails this, he loses this whole regatta.
Well, I mean, there's still time in the downwind, even if he does have a mistake up here, but
Yes.
it's definitely important for him to try not to make a mistake.
Yes. You cannot do a mistake in less than 200 meters. And we got a penalty.
Oh, and there's a mistake.
But we still have...
Now Ami's going to try. Sorry.
Yeah, we still have a lot of time in the downwind or distance. As Carlos is still able to give a wind shadow to Ami.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see
Would
another fight soon.
Would that have ruffled some feathers for Carlos? So would that have given him a little bit of nerves? Maybe, you know, Ami must be really confident now. He's got a one on Carlos. He has the upper hand. Ami must be smelling victory right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they go for a jibe there. Ami trying to gain control of that left-hand side looking downwind. Carlos does also want that left-hand side. Ami going up to more of a reach here. Trying to portray some dirty air over the top of Ami. Ami's still trying to protect that left-hand side looking downwind.
Very
Oh,
strong
and Carlos makes a move. Yeah, can
Carlos is
Carlos
in the lead.
roll
Yeah,
Ami? I think he can.
I think we're yeah. It looks like.
Let's see.
Oh,
It's
Carlos.
very close, and Carlos got it, even with the penalty. We are alive.
Jeez, that's good for
Carlos is
Carlos. Yeah,
That was good.
nice work by Carlos.
Nicely done. So,
It feels like Carlos gaining like confidence more and more. Like the more they play, the more you see moves from him.
he's starting to understand Ami's move.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he was right in trying to, you know, push off at the top mark, especially like, you know, I didn't think it was a good play. I thought he should have tried to lengthen the gap. But, geez, it made a difference for him, you know, just repositioning himself like that.
Absolutely.
Able to get behind towards the last half of the downwind and be able to push onto Ami and really, you know, ruffle some feathers.
Absolutely.
Anyway, into the fourth race here, and if you're new joining into the stream, the score is currently 2-1. Ami with 2 wins and Carlos with 1. Ami is still at match point. He needs 1 more win to win the Match Racing Cup, and Carlos needs 2 wins to win the Match Racing Cup. Let's see who's going to win.
And we got a penalty to Carlos.
Five seconds here. Ami definitely in a better position. Carlos tacks off. Good start for Ami. Not so much for Carlos, but he's still in contention.
Yep. We might see a dogfight here. Yep. It's gonna be attacking battle. Raw attacking battle.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe emo.
Yeah. I think Carlos's only goal here is just to stay with Ami. I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos try and play second place, try and play from behind, and do what Ami was kind of trying to do in the races beforehand.
Turning the tables around me, right?
Yeah, exactly. It worked last race, so he probably thinks it could work this one too.
Is he gonna let Ami go to the ley line? Yes. That's masterclass. They are still within reasonable distance to each other, so we're gonna see a lot of fighting here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ami also try and play from behind here. So, going around heading towards that down one, I wouldn't be surprised Ami to try and give up that first place, or at least try and be in line with Carlos to set up for the next downwind. Ami holding out, trying to hold out Carlos, trying to get a pin on Carlos here, but then concedes. Are we going to see a straight drive from Ami? Yes, we are. Carlos follows. No, he doesn't. He goes straight.
He wants to do the battle at the end of the downwind. He doesn't want to do anything stupid.
Yeah, for sure. Ami goes for the pin and gets it on Carlos. Jeez. I was not expecting that from Ami. Very aggressive.
Very. He really wants to win this. Stay behind Carlos.
Yeah, for sure.
We have 200 meters till the mark, but we might go a bit upwind.
Yeah. It looks like Ami's noticed that shift behind and really wants that left-hand gate looking downwind. The one that he's going to right now. Really pushing for it.
We're very close to the mark, aren't we? And the penalty for
Oh,
Carlos.
pin on Carlos.
Oh.
Carlos thinking that he could make that cross, but couldn't. Very
And
costly. Very, very costly.
with this, Ami gets the inside and win this mark rounding probably, but he's waiting for Carlos to do a move. Which side he wanna go?
Yeah, he's going for a mark trap here, Ami is. Definitely trying to push Carlos off to the opposite mark, trying to make Carlos either sail more distance or sail with the wrong shift.
Really interesting. Ami is going for the left shift.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see that. Considering how hard he was fighting for that specific gate mark, and he decides to go off to the opposite direction, letting Carlos
Ami got the shift and technique.
access.
This is masterclass.
Yeah, but he's let Carlos. Yeah, geez. Well, it's actually worked out a lot better for Ami than I thought it would. I thought
Yeah.
Carlos would sail off to that right hand shift and try and get in it before Ami. But no.
Absolutely, and if he gets into the wind shift in front of Carlos, which he will, he might be able just in front of Carlos to not get into his wind shadow. But it's really hard to tell right now.
Yeah.
Carlos got the win shift, also Ami.
Yeah, so this wind shift will also help Carlos to stay within the range for downwind.
Yeah, Ami is just waiting. And he decks. Okay, no, he wasn't. I think Carlos still have a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ami knows he's not in front of them Carlos as much as he wanted to.
So
Yeah,
if
Carlos.
if Ome keeps this, he will be the winner, right? 3-1,
Yes.
3 wins.
Yeah, but Carlos just clinging on to Ami here. He only just has Ami in his wind shadow. But is it going to be enough? Do you guys think it's going to be enough to reel Ami back into Carlos's clutches, or no? Do you think it might all be over for Carlos here?
Well, absolutely, I have to go with Carlos. He still has a chance. Still in his Ama is still in his wind shadow. We still have 250 meters left, so anything is possible here. But it's really gonna be a big fight at the last second. Yeah, Ame is losing a lot of speed now.
Yeah, Carlos really affecting Ami here now. It's going to come down to the last few meters, I reckon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ami may just take this one though.
Ame is taking this
Yeah, he
win.
takes it.
Well
And
done.
Ami's the winner. He wins the cup.
He did it.
Congrats to Ami here.
He secured his championship title. What a race by Ami and Carlos.
Sure. And Ome, the king of the match racing. I think we can get him. I will try to get him in so we can ask him some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We should ask them. And Noah's telling in the chat he's the most skilled, but he was unlucky. And we got a winner.
Yeah, so Ome wins. And well, let's see if he can join. I hasn't answered it. He's probably celebrating, but we wait some time and see if he can join.
Absolutely.
But during he will come in 30 seconds. So it's we can look at like the ones he beat from the start. So he started with to beating Rocco Guerra, and then he played against Umut, and then he was beating Azer, and Azer is like former world champion. And then
I were about to go with him, but sadly he got knocked out. And we got the winner here.
And then he.
Hey everyone, good to have you here. Thanks for
Congrats.
Congratulations, dude.
For the win.
Thank you so much.
champion here.
How did it feel?
It was a 2-0. It it looked it was very close, and a single mistake might cost you a victory, and this actually happened in the race 3, as you saw. I had a feeling I had everything under control, and then some wind angle, wind shift made it
We have a
made it negative for me.
we have a very specific question. It's I think it's race 1 or 2 down the gates, the downwind rounding for
First downwind.
for the upwind, where you where you like switched the gate. You had like you was first, and then you decided to go to the other gate behind Carlos.
Yeah, I remember that. The tactic behind that, I got lured of him. I got tied with him, so I was totally owning that gate, controlling that gate, and I was going further to give him a penalty because I'm kind of excited about winning the games, not at the finish line, but at the second upwind or something, because I'm really good at cover controlling. And this is actually something I'm passionate about, and this is something I'm waiting to happen. And sadly, this is something you can't even anticipate. You can't expect from top level players like Carlos and many others in the knockout top standings. But the idea behind that was to give him a penalty if he and pretend maybe that I'm bearing away. The whole scene was to give him a penalty, but he was going to the other gate already, and jiving back was losing time, and I said, okay, let's go to the other gate. So that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Interesting. Yeah, another question as well, actually. Were you trying on the first 2 races to stick behind Carlos until the last hour and stay as close as you could to then try and bring the fight to the last hour? Because it did seem like that, especially in a couple of races.
Not really. As you saw, the race 3 and race 4, I was in defending position. Actually, I know some people like attacking, some people like defending. For me, it's just 50-50. It's same if you are behind, you just play an attacker role. You have some tactics. If you are defending, you need to play differently. And the key to win the defense is probably to play like you are in attack. The key point when you're defending is the wind pressure. If the wind is heavy, obviously it's hard to defend, and you need some special moves, some special capitalizing, some special positioning, and sometimes, in a heavy wind, it might make sense to give up lead and attack. But the race number 1 and 2 were definitely not the case. I was just too noob to get first, so he was defending really well. That's the secret.
Yeah. After all, he's a defending champion. He's a world champion. So
sorry, say again.
Yeah, so Carlos is a world champion, so he's a really tough opponent.
The ESWC.
Yeah. Yeah.
The match didn't mean to be easy at all. It was not. Even though it's 3-1, it's a hard. He's a hard opponent, and he deserved to be in grand final. That's why we saw him.
Absolutely. I was actually racing against Carlos in the elimination rounds in round robin, and I wasn't even in the course against him. So it's big respect to you guys putting out this race.
Who would you say, if you not choose Carlos, who would you say was the hardest battle? Because before you joined, I was reading up everyone you was meeting in the ground series or today for the qualification series. Who was the hardest opponent, or always is the hardest opponent?
In my route, I didn't meet everyone because some
Yeah.
were at the lower part of the upper bracket and some were always in the lower bracket. But I'd say the hardest match was against Azair, Tristan, and I actually expected him to be back and play grand final against him. And well, obviously, when it comes to Azair, it's a hard boat to beat. I don't know. I wouldn't say like I don't want to distinguish the strongest opponent, but he's one of the strongest. And for me, given the experience of this tournament, those matches were the hardest because he's very versatile. He's very quick to repositioning, and our series was really intense, really exciting, and really hard. And the race 3 was decided just the finish line.
Yeah.
Nice.
How much would you say is like real sailing, and how much is some kind of psychological warfare when you do e-sailing in percentage?
It's a complex question. The ratio.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even just split them. I'd say they're very different, but on the other hand, they are overlapping. So you can discover something in sailing and bring it to real sailing, and you can bring something from real sailing to virtual regatta. And this is the example for that is Farley. He may not be racing in virtual waters, but he comes back and he's a top level boat again. And same. I heard many reviews, not reviews, but comments that some people improved their real sailing from virtual waters. So
Yeah.
I would say that even this match racing, even though it's very far from the real world format, and it's a different format from what you can see on the real water, it still lets you build some mindset, some it level ups your reaction and it helps you to build mindset, and the mindset you can later use in the real water. So it's not about the specific tactics in virtual regatta, but the way you think, the way you sharpen your mindset.
Yeah.
Good tips for those who listen.
Also,
And lastly,
yep.
I encourage everyone to join the next year the championship because it's a very good training not only for your boat skills but for your passions because these games, the star match races, they are kind of slow, they're kind of boring, they are like a hunting. You need to wait for a proper moment and just use that moment. So it's a good training for your personal skills, how you can become more calm, more patient, because calmness and patience is usually the key to win this race.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you
for
think
sure.
do you reckon this whole match racing stuff is helping you to understand the game rule engine more, or help you understand the rule marks and all of this stuff?
It does. It really does. It helps to understand the wind, the shadows, and the directions. As you saw, the race number 4, it was kind of outstanding race because no fight happened in the downwind, and that's all due knowledge of the virtual wind. So usually when you have, I don't remember how many meters he was behind, maybe 40, maybe 30,
It was
but
30 meters.
usually, yeah, and I think you guys were expecting some fight,
Yeah.
and most commonly it happens, but because of some knowledge of the wind angles, the wind pressure, and the shadow mechanics, I just jibed and managed to stay clear till the finish line and just finish without any fighting. So yeah, this definitely happens. That definitely helps you to understand the game better, but sometimes it just takes time. So what you're seeing took me some time to understand.
All right, I think
Okay.
it was a good end word to our Match Racing Cup final. Thank you, Ami, for having us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
me.
all, the broadcaster. Congratulations again
Yeah.
for the win, and also Carlos for making it to the final, and everybody who was in the event, racing and fighting till the end. Thank you for joining us. Any last
Thank
words?
you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing, everyone.
Keep
And
pushing.
let's become stronger and stronger.
Absolutely. All right.
Great last words.
All right. See you guys.
Well, thank you so much,
Have a
guys.
good-
We'll see you in the next one.